I've traveled to multiple countries across Africa, but Egypt has never been on my wish list, and this was because of the many videos I had seen online about how hostile they were to tourists and foreigners.
Customs here is intense. Literally everyone gets x-rayed and they poke through your stuff. They don't care.
I have done nothing wrong. You gonna show me your gun too?
Even though I had heard a lot, I was looking forward to forming my own opinion about this North African country, but nothing prepared me for how hard it was going to be to get here and also to travel around it. The first hurdle I had to scale was applying for a visa, which was the hardest thing ever as a Nigerian. After trying so hard and not getting it, I turned to a second option, which was to make use of my Schengen visa to fly to Egypt. The only way this was going to work though was if I came in through Europe. So I took a flight from Nigeria to France to get my visa stamped and then flew back to Egypt through Italy. This journey took me almost 48 hours for a trip that was normally meant to be 6 hours if I was flying directly from Nigeria.
This means that Egypt is easier for an European to access than an African, and that sounds very ridiculous to me. Prior to arriving, I'd heard that they were not camera friendly and on no account should you bring a drone into the country.
So they took our gear and they said that they're going to hold on to it until we can find a permit.
Everything I'm going to record has to be on my phone.
So I laid out my plan, travel across Cairo, Egypt, exploring the major sites to finally end up inside the Pyramids of Giza.
Wow. Yeah, so guys, just arrived in Egypt.
On entering the city, I noticed it has a very similar vibe to Lagos, Nigeria, where I'm from, with people constantly in a rush to complete their daily activities. It currently has a population of over 10 million people and is the third most populated city in Africa. Due to this, Cairo, like many other mega cities, suffers from high level of pollution and traffic, and this was evident on my drive from the airport down to my hotel.
Everybody's just pressing their horns. Can you hear the sound?
I also noticed that most of the buildings look like they had been demolished to pave way for the road.
I found a hotel to spend the night, and this hotel really had a great view of the pyramids which I planned on visiting.
The next morning I headed out, and the first place on my list was the Egyptian Museum. To move around Cairo, I faced another difficulty. Almost everybody here spoke Arabic.
Is it plenty in Cairo? Traffic jam? There's traffic in Cairo? Okay. Traffic, okay.
And as an English speaker, it was really difficult to communicate with others.
So guys, this is the first place on our list, which is the museum.
Yeah, so this is the museum right here. Apparently I was sent back because I don't have a ticket, so I only can't get a ticket now. The Egyptian Museum is the oldest archaeological museum in the Middle East and houses over 170,000 artifacts.
So guys, one of the nicest things just happened. When I went to the gate, the guy actually said I look like an Egyptian, so they gave me the ticket for a lesser price.
Walking into the museum transported me back in time, and I had seen multiple samples of these in Bible stories and on TV, but seeing them physically for the first time really blew me away. There were statues and mummies that dated back thousands of years all over the place, and I couldn't help but wonder what life must have been like during that time.
Egypt has a big place in history. When you think about the pyramids, when you think about how far the world has come, and it's really interesting to be here presently and seeing all of these things.
There were also other structures on ground like ancient stone carvings with different drawings and inscriptions. It was such an amazing experience walking through history, and I enjoyed every single moment of it.
I wanted to experience more of the city and see Egypt through the eyes of a local, and for me the best place to do this is the market.
In every country across the world, a local market is one of the best places to feel the pulse of a city, and is always my go-to if I wanted to experience a place through the eyes of a local. On our drive to the market, I noticed something else about Cairo. There were cops everywhere, and we had to pass through multiple checkpoints at different intervals, which only added more to the traffic.
I don't have any footage of this because I had to stop filming whenever we're getting close to this checkpoint. So I'm heading to el-Khalili, which is the biggest market in Africa.
I arrived at the el-Khalili market, which is a famous bazaar in the historic center of Cairo, Egypt. It was bustling with thousands of people going about their different businesses.
Currently walking in the market now. I have no sense of direction to actually where I'm going.
There were many Egyptian artisans and workshops involved in the production of traditional crafts and souvenirs. There were also shops built into the side of stone buildings, and looking around you could tell that this was a very old market. I was invited into one of the shops by one of the local traders.
Okay, really? What's your name? Your name is what? Who?
And even though I told him I was just making a video, he was still very welcoming and told me he loved watching Nigerian football.
Oh, okay.
My favorite player is Daniel Abukashi.
It was super busy and very difficult to walk through the market, so I decided to stop by and try out some local tea at a tea shop.
Funny things, I don't know what this is going to taste like. I'm about to try this Egyptian mint tea for the first time. I think I need to add some sugar.
While sitting here, I met these Asian couples on my right who were also visiting Egypt for the first time, and I asked them to share their experience with me.
I think there are like two sides of this place.
Yeah.
The good side is you can meet very nice people. The other side, there are so many of them trying to mark up all the prices and stuff.
Yeah, I can see your hand. I like it. You didn't hear?
Yes, and it was £300 and 30 Egyptian
From
pound.
300 to 30.
Yeah, exactly.
Listening to their experience wasn't really encouraging, and I was hoping that what has been said about Egypt from the videos online wasn't true. My goal still remained forming my own opinions as I went.
Nice to meet you. Take care. Bye-bye. Somebody once said that a stranger is a friend that you haven't met yet. So interesting. So you guys should go out there, meet more people, learn about Africa.
I wanted to try out some local food, so I headed to a popular eating spot close to the entrance of the market, and this was where things started to take a turn for the worse.
I think one of the problems we hear is you just have different people just coming to meet you and touch you, and it's very annoying.
Within the period from when I ordered my meal to when I wanted to start eating, there were at least over 10 people that came to harass me for money.
I've traveled to many places around the world where there are beggars, and even in Lagos, Nigeria, where I live, there are also lots of beggars on the street. But in Egypt, the beggars are very aggressive. Yeah, people always hassling you. Just like as I was saying, people always hassling you, even at the restaurant. You just want to sit down and eat a really nice meal, and nobody just comes to you and stuff in your face. It was just the beggar now that was just touching me. I just checked it out. I was just sitting down here, and this guy just came to sit down beside me. And he's asking me for money, basically. I don't have anything. Don't worry, just go. Yeah. Being a tourist here, these guys just assume that you are a walking ATM and that you're just going to be handing out cash to everybody on the street. Even the restaurant owner had to get aggressive with the beggars, but they just kept on coming back.
I also had to be extra vigilant and keep my bags and belongings in front of me to make sure somebody else doesn't grab them. And even filming with my phone was a problem because of how rowdy the place was. I want to try out Egyptian food. This is Egyptian food right in front of me. This is naan bread here. This is soup. This is rice. And then this is tomatoes too.
Another problem with Cairo is it has so many flies. There are flies everywhere.
But I'd never been anywhere that had this much flies. As you are eating, you are constantly fighting another war with these pesky pests.
This is another challenge I have to face.
I had lost my appetite, so I decided to pay and just leave.
I've given up on trying to eat this food because there's too many challenges. There's too many flies around, too many people harassing me. So I think I'll just leave now and head to the next location.
I got back to my hotel very hungry and tired, so I just ordered Uber Eats and chilled on the rooftop of my hotel to catch the amazing sunset.
While up here, I remembered videos I had seen online about a lot of creators who had visited in the past who complained about how difficult it was to film here.
As we were filming that, the police stopped us. After about half an hour, the police officer wanted to go through the footage on my phone.
This is a public area. Everybody has cameras. Why are you following me? Stop harassing me.
And also read an article online about a lady who was jailed for bringing in painkillers, and another lady who almost got jailed for bringing in a drone.
Doing some research, I realized that Egypt runs an authoritarian regime.
The current regime is highly paranoid and highly repressive. So they passed an anti-terror law, for instance, which is very wide ranging. And so many things now in Egypt can be considered crimes of terrorism.
For a country who earns 12% of its GDP from tourism, this is really sad. How do you want to grow tourism in your country when you make it difficult for a lot of people to visit and document their experiences?
In the morning, I reached out to a tour guide who took me on a drive to the pyramids. I had been looking forward to this moment for so long, and it was finally here.
I've been wanting to see the pyramids for a very long time, and now I'm finally on my way there. So guys, I think I'm gonna go inside this one, and it cost me 100 of this. So guys, these are the two tickets I just got. One is the ticket into the general area, and one is the ticket for entering into the pyramids.
Nothing prepared me for how massive these pyramids were. They look so small in pictures and videos, but it's only when you get to stand in front of one that you get to appreciate the true scale of it.
This is really massive, man. I didn't even imagine that one block. This is just one block.
All three massive pyramids were housed in the pyramid complex, also called the Giza Necropolis or the Giza Pyramid Plateau. Alongside it was the Great Sphinx of Giza. The fact that these pyramids were built by humans thousands of years ago still blew my mind. Back then there was little to no machinery, and they were still able to accomplish this level of engineering.
So the strongest earthquake that happened here in 1992, and they lost 10 meters from the pyramid. And all the stones you can see on the ground are some of the stones that fell down when the earthquake was happening. The ancient engineering feats of building the pyramids are so impressive that even up to today, scientists still can't figure out how it was done.
I don't know how they did it. All I know is they did it. I don't think anybody knows how they did it, how they lifted those stones.
So why were the pyramids built, and what was the whole point?
Egyptian pharaohs were expected to become gods in the afterlife. To prepare for the next world, they erected temples to the gods and massive pyramid tombs for themselves, filled with all the things that each ruler would need to guide and sustain themselves in the next world, making a pyramid the largest and most expensive casket in the world. The first challenge was getting past the hundreds of people at the bottom of the pyramid, whose major goal was to take your money.
Okay. This is how much for all pick a trip? 350. Too much, man, too much.
I had read about this online, so I just became deaf to all their suggestions as I walked towards my major goal, the gate of the pyramid. Because of the size of the complex, which was really massive, and I was already getting tired, I decided to hop on the back of a camel and rode up a hill to get me closer to the pyramid I planned on entering.
Here I am, riding on my camel.
يعني مش هيبقى فاول. Just narrow.
So guys, I'm walking into the pyramid now. If you're very claustrophobic, it's going to be hard for you to come into this place.
There was limited lighting, and the ladders into the pyramids were chipping off in some parts.
It gets really hot here. You can see I'm sweating. So if you're coming here, be prepared.
My mind started playing tricks on me, and I imagined that what would happen if this thing suddenly collapsed on all of us inside here. And then I realized it had been standing for thousands of years. Why will it be today that it now decides to collapse? I faced my fear and kept moving till we got to the opening deep inside the pyramids, which was home to the tomb of the 4th dynasty pharaoh Khufu.
So guys, this is what it looks like inside the pyramid. I'm inside the second one now.
One thing I learned from visiting the pyramids was the fact that humans are really powerful if they decide to work together towards a single goal, which was the case of the pyramids.
This is what I look like when I came out of the pyramid. I'm so sweaty and so tired. Woo.
In the evening of my last day, I stepped out to take a boat ride across the river Nile.
This is the river Nile, and on the left and on the right you can see a lot of cars passing. There's a major road here and there's a major road on the other side.
This was a great highlight of my very eventful trip, and we had a buffet served to us on a moving cruise ship. This took 1 hour and was a great way to experience the nightlife of Cairo. So should you come to Egypt? Well, if you are someone who is a regular traveler who is just coming to stay in a hotel and experience the sights, and if you're ready to face all I've said so far, then be my guest. If you're a creator like me who loves to experience and document places, then I would say you are going to face some tough restrictions to your creativity, and on no account should you bring a drone. I wouldn't be in a rush to come back here anytime soon. Going forward, I'm more focused on exploring and telling stories about places that are very welcoming to tourists. Traveling is already hard and expensive as it is, so it really doesn't make sense for me to go to places where I feel unwelcome or uneasy. This is majorly a reflection of the government and not on the people of Egypt. Most of the people I came across were pretty chill.
Yes, my brother. What's your name?
My brother from another mother.
My brother.
I believe things should be put in place to ensure more tourists have a great experience, especially for a country that makes 12% of its GDP from tourism.
As with all videos, this was my experience traveling Egypt as a Nigerian travel creator, and your experience will probably be different from mine. I've tried to keep my opinion as unbiased as possible, and I would love to hear from you guys who have traveled to Egypt before. What was your experience like? Please share your comments in the comment section below. And that's all I have to share with you guys today. If you love this video, please hit the like button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.